and it is time to open the 2024 NISCA Conference. I'd like to welcome everyone here today, our current members, new members of our organization to this 90th conference that we have. Our agenda this morning, we have quite a bit to accomplish within the first hour, so we'll roll through pretty quickly. We have had our minutes posted from last year's meeting on the website since probably April of last year when they were completed and downloaded. And it's time to accept a motion to accept the minutes from last year. I have a motion from Mark Onstadt. I have a second from Don Mason. All in favor? The minutes from last year's conference have been accepted. So, state of NISCA. Our membership is continuing to grow. We are actually a little bit ahead of where we were last year at this time. Last year we had 1,031 registered members of NISCA. This year we have 1,189 paying members and 1,216 with our lifetime members total currently. We filled several vacant positions over the last year. We still have some vacancies, especially in some zone director openings. For those of you that may be new or hesitant about talking about joining or taking on a role in an organization, whether it's state or national, you might be surprised on how supportive your principals, athletic directors, and superintendents might be. When I first was asked to take on a role at the state level in Texas, my aquatic director was very supportive, but I was always kind of leery whether or not the athletic directors and principals, knowing that I would have to be taking time away from the classroom. They were like, no, we love our teachers and coaches to get involved in state and national organizations. It looks better on our school district when we have those types of people involved in the state and national organizations. So if you are looking for an opportunity, we have them always available. And I encourage you to get involved in your state and our organization as well. Goals that I had last year was meeting more with our executive board, and we did on a monthly basis throughout the year. Keep excelling in our communication. Eve has a great system set up on sending out reminders and e-blasts. Our zone directors, I think, set out more zone newsletters this last year than they have in previous years. And for goals for this year, I want to continue to grow our size of our membership, reminding coaches to join early because that way they get the constant reminders that when the deadlines are occurring, when the portals are opening. It is very frustrating for those of us that also do other roles in this organization, such as All America, that after June 15th, when our membership portal closes, that we get these calls. Is there anything I can do to get my kid on the list? Or why didn't my athlete get on the list? When those parents are emailing and saying, sorry, your coach didn't get the application in by the deadline. So the sooner we can get those memberships registered in the fall, the more or less likely we're going to have people slipping through the cracks. Our communication is continuing to expand and grow. One of the next tasks is going to be helping and assist the state associations, especially some of the states that are considering maybe organizing their first coaches association or wanting some new ideas on how they can strengthen their coaches association in the coming terms. And in closing of my state of NISCA, I think that we're in really good shape, and I appreciate all of you taking the time to come here and be here and travel here for this conference this weekend. Next, we're going to move on to the reports, starting with the audit committee's report. Yes. Dana Abbott will be coming up.
Good morning. The audit committee met yesterday morning. In attendance were President Margetto, Kyle Bedeloff, and Tim Sterois. The audit committee, as specified in the Constitution bylaws, is appointed by the president to include 3 members, past presidents preferred, I would believe. And we have 3 past presidents here, Pete Hugo, Mark Onstott, and myself. I was the chair of the committee, and we have examined the treasurer's report. We find that it meets our standards and expectations and recommend it be accepted as submitted. At the treasurer's report, you can ask questions about it. So, up to you.
Treasurer's report. Mr. Royce.
To start with, I felt like this year it was really big shoes to fill, taking over for Tom. And so I was in, I would say, very close communication with Tom throughout the year. When things came up, I picked up the phone, called him, and he led me through. So I've got to thank Tom for his mentorship on that throughout this year. Last April, we took the funds from the CD that we had, and we transferred that into, it's called BMO Bank. It was BMO Harris. It's local to me. I deposited $143,908 into that account. So we now have a CD that is a 5-year at a 4.2% interest. That's so far earned us close to what I would say a decent extra sponsorship would be. So we've got almost $5,000 in interest from that CD, and that is now sitting at roughly $149,000 in that CD. We, in our checking account, the funds are good. I feel we're very, very stable there. Currently, as of this morning, we have $184,000 in that account. So our balance right now is $332,645. We are in good financial shape. When we pay for this conference and we pay for the All-America program, we'll be sitting at or above where we were at this time last year. And we did try to maintain things the way they were. We obviously shifted banks to be more local to me. So we closed the Bank of South Carolina account and we moved those funds up into the Chicago area. We did not change the accounting firm. Hutto and Preston down by Tom in South Carolina did our taxes. Tom submitted what he had. I FedExed what I had down to them. But mainly what they did was they had me upload things into a secure system and they did the taxes. And I would plan on having them do that in the future, just to maintain consistency. They helped us through a couple of things. There was a challenge down in South Carolina whether or not we were a nonprofit, and they walked us through that and got us through that with maintaining our nonprofit status and keeping South Carolina State from taking some of the funds that they wanted to get from us. So it's worked out well having that consistency. And as Mark said, if there's questions, is this a time for question? Yes. Well, that would be, that's not for me. That would be for our marketing report, but it is coming. So in closing, it is, we are in good financial shape, and I look forward to keeping Tom's legacy of being fiscally responsible on this. Thank you.
Okay. Membership report. Do we have from Darren? Okay, so we will circle back around. PowerPoint national team. No report. Hey, rules committee. Peter here this morning. I will be taking our rules committee chair here in just a moment. We will then shift to diving.
Basically twofold. We did have a diving meeting yesterday. We talked about the rules that were proposed, possible rules that we'd like to see proposed or changes that we're looking towards. But also, and we had a great spirited conversation as always. Didn't change the world, but I think we covered the past and we're looking for the future. We also did All-American since I'm up here for diving. Diving All-Americans working well. The program that Dick has put together is solid, and we keep tweaking it each year and it gets better. So any questions on either one of those? Fabulous.
Do we have a water polo report this morning? Okay. The Our Power Ted Mullen Fund. Mr. Plummer, do you have a? Come on up and talk.
All right. Hi, I'm Tony Plummer. I'm the Our Power Chairman. New to this role, so I don't know if y'all read the articles. I tried to pump up enthusiasm about this. This has been a project that was important to me personally when I was still coaching. I've since come off deck. But working with the foundation, the idea is to grow it. Just out of curiosity, show of hands, how many of y'all have done an Our Power with your teams in this room? Yeah. I'd like to, I can't speak enough as to the power of this event. So I'm gonna do my best to kind of grow this thing and get the enthusiasm out there. But if y'all could spread the word, again, reach out to me and I'll help everybody I can. I'll circle up with Mary and Rick, Ted's parents, who I've been in close contact with, and get some stats out about how we did this year to Eve for the next blast or the following one, and Dana in the journal. But first time here at NISCA, so thanks for having me.
Thank you, Tony. I was a little humble on that. He's got 13 high schools, as well as how many members on your side of your club program? 350, all participating in the Our Power event. And it's fantastic to watch. I've seen the photographs and some video clips of what they've been doing. Zone Directors Report.
Unaware of this. I was there yesterday. Zone Directors Report. Yesterday we had a conversation with 3 zone directors and Eve and myself. We talked about things that we're going to try to promote in the upcoming year. I plan on taking over, sending out the reminders to the zone directors to send out their quarterly notices, take that off of Eve's plate so she can focus on other things. And we're going to make sure that we can update the list of states that do have state associations, make sure those and the state delegates are correct on the website.
All right, professional awards. Tom.
Thanks, Mark. We had a very successful awards meeting yesterday. I'll share this list with Eve, but I want to read our award winners for next year. For the Outstanding Service Award, we have Tim Fowkes from Wisconsin, John Pearson from Michigan, Dan Johnson from Illinois, John Barnes, Minnesota, and Kevin Murphy of Texas winning Outstanding Service Awards. I'm very pleased to announce our Collegiate Scholastic Award for next year is Eve Julian of Michigan. Hall of Fame will be Jesse Cole from Texas. We will have a life member next year, Mel Roberts of Utah, who hasn't been to the conference for a while, but very deserving longtime member of NISCA. We also will be inducting an honorary member, Sandy Searcy of NFHS, and here in Indiana. One of the other things we did yesterday was to rename the Media Award. We have renamed the Media Award to the Brent Rudemiller Award for Excellence in Media. And Brent will be able to attend the banquet on Saturday, so we're very pleased about that. One other announcement just from the committee, we want to just encourage everyone to get back into the system, update your resume, encourage your colleagues, your area members to go in and update their resume. We're still battling with old resumes from the old system and trying to get the new ones uploaded. So we're just going to encourage everyone to go ahead and update their resumes. Does anyone have any questions for the awards committee? Mark.
Is there a link on the website? Does it go right to the resume so you can do your resume?
There is a link to add a new resume, and there is a note on that same page that says update existing resume to send it to the webmaster.
And where is that link located?
Under the professional
Resources.
Yes.
Resources or professional?
Well,
Under
professional
resources.
awards, I think, are under resources.
Resources, then professional awards, then the update link.
It's the main page of the professional awards.
Yes. Any other questions for the awards committee? Thank you.
Coaches education. All right. Yeah.
Should really send you a briefing before so I know what's going on. Coaches education. So this is a new role that Kevin Pierce is taking on. He and I are in contact at least 2 times a month talking about things. I think we had a coaches education meeting yesterday. We've got a list of ideas to give to Kevin to run with. And once again, if you are new and don't have anything that you have to do in your free time, coaches education would be a great spot for you. There's a lot of things that we talked about yesterday in terms of technology would be a great thing for us to start promoting, putting videos on the website on how to fill out your All-American applications or your academic applications. So we've got some ideas in the hopper.
All right. Circling back, rules committee.
As you know, that the Rules Committee for the Federation, which I am, I'm the person that represents NISCA, had our meetings last week. So I was in Indianapolis last week till Tuesday, flew home, flew back here for this today, and knowing that the rules have already been passed. So Sandy will be here today, Sandy Searcy, who's the editor and runs the swimming program. She'll be here today and she'll give us a little bit more details as to what happened. I can't, I'm signed by law up there. They make you sign a sheet saying you won't say anything until till it comes out from them. So anyway, one of the things that we'd like to do in our big meeting tomorrow, and we discussed, is a little bit about how to write rules, because we're not getting a lot of rules, and not that we need a lot of rules, but there are, if you read the rule book, there are places where swimming coaches have ideas, and it's not always about the official. We got to think about the kids, how they finish, how they touch. Do we like it this way? Do we want, and are they now allowed to do this? These are things that coaches make decisions on, should anyway, because it's affecting our kids. It's not because it's easier for the officials to see it. Anyway, next year, I'd like to really do more Zooms with this group. The survey was wonderful. I mean, the second time Eve put it out, it was great. The first time Eve put it out, we had, 1/3 of the responses that we got a week later. So I don't know why that happened, but at least we got a few, because I will tell you, the Federation respects our views. And I'm always giving the report as to how NISCA feels. And again, having that committee being made up of half of the people there are non-swimming people. They're very intelligent, and they lend to a very good discussion, but they're still not swim people. So they really do rely, and I'm very pleased about this, that they rely heavily on what we have to say. And I have to tell you, Don Mason is probably the go-to person in the United States in diving. Sandy is always calling Don or asking for Don information. And again, NISCA coach. So this is one thing that NISCA really does have an impact in. The survey was a bone of contention for me, and we'll talk more about it later. I'd like to figure out a way where we have a little bit more give and take with that survey. And I think by having Zooms, giving people more than one rationale might lend itself to a better discussion and maybe a better results in the rules. I guess that's about it for now. Does anybody have any questions?
Thank you, Peter. All right, NISCA store. You have that one. Take notes on our own presentation.
Several of my own presentations. Okay, so the NISCA store report, as submitted by Greg Anderson, completed the annual report for the NISCA store, also report sales and inventory. So here's his sales and inventory. The NISCA store sales, we've sold 2 of the Eddie Reese book, 2 of the Sprinting 2, and 2 of the diving DVDs. Also, we canceled 4 orders for not paying for them. Other sales, 26 of the Eddie Reese book that comes through the membership application. The Swim Coaches Starter Guide, we sold 11. The Biology of Swimming, we sold 10. And Sprinting 2, we sold 2. Currently, we have 3 Eddie Reese books with an order for more. The Swim Coaches Starter Guide, we have 18 in stock. Biology of Swimming, we have 4 in stock. Sprinting 2, we have 20 in stock. And there are a ton of various certificates. Also, there are some leftover shirts, ice scrapers, and NISCA bags, which are in the back. Any leftovers can be shipped back to Greg for sale or storage on sale on the website or storage in his garage. And he is happy to continue this service for NISCA.
I can make it next. Yes.
There's a couple books for sale back here, right?
Yes, yeah, I think he sent a couple of each of the books that we have.
No, it's not Eddie Reese's. There's the Sprinting 2, and there's the Swim Coaches Starter Guide.
And that Sprinting 2, I believe, is out of print now. So these are the last couple of copies that exist for sale.
There are 5 of Manfred's Sprinting 2, and these are now no longer available.
Yes, question.
This is a great book.
Is that the Swim Coaches Starter Guide?
Swim Coaches Starter Guide. So if you're a new coach, perfect for somebody who's just getting into the
Greg, you had a question?
And we have some of our NISCA Yankee t-shirts. So if you do want to get one of those books, just see me.
Yep.
And either I'll invoice you or.
Or the Yankee fucking pinstripe shirts from last year. Okay, Greg, you had a question.
I do have a question. And I'm hoping someone in the room will know. Yesterday during Push Education, we talked about some books, and one of the ones was Winning Isn't Normal. I believe out of print. And you can buy used editions for like $33 for this. Obviously, anything's possible, but is it practical to say, hey, can we get permission to print and sell a copy of that? Obviously, pay a royalty. Is that something that happens? As an organization, is that something? Anybody here know anything about publishing?
Dana would be the guy.
No, I know Keith Bell. They have a content.
Yeah.
He's got some other books.
Yeah, he wrote a bunch of it starting back.
I've got the original book and a copy of the book. I do too. Not just out of black market.
Let's not be proposing copyright infringement, people. Please.
If we can get permission to do that.
Right.
And
Yeah.
if we run out, we print more.
Yeah, so, okay, Dana, I'm officially appointing you to talk to Keith Bell about Winning Isn't Normal.
His books.
Yeah. All right. Okay, I am going to move on to the marketing report. This is submitted by Arvel McElroy. He attended the ASCA conference in September, where he met with representatives from our various sponsors, Finis, Swim Outlet, and Hasty Awards, secured a new partnership for the Para All-America, which is One Swim, sent contract proposals to D&J Sports, A3, and Speedo. Currently working on updates for sponsorships with Finis, Hasty, IST, and Duraflex. And he has talked to Kyle about finding somebody to mentor in the area of marketing who would take over the task of marketing director. Marketing is mostly paperwork, and then occasionally like going to a clinic and talking to sponsors and seeing if they'd like to give us some money. So if you think that you would like to do that, we have boilerplate templates for all of the marketing agreements, so it's not like you have to know any legal anything. So you would be the point of contact when people reach out and say, hey, I'd like to give NISCA some money, or I would like to advertise in the journal or the website. So if anybody's interested, let Mark know. And then I'm also going to do Arvel's outreach report. Oh yes, question on marketing.
Sponsorship, is that basically, hey, I'll give you $100? I mean,
We have
whatever anybody wants.
We have a price list, so it depends on the program. All America Swim, for example, I think is set at $10,000 right now. For each one. Oh, is it 5,000 for each one or 10 for both?
It was listed as 10 for both.
10 for both. Okay.
10.
So it's 10 each. Anyway, we have a price list, which I am happy to let you take a look at, and we probably could publish it somewhere online. We haven't done that in the past, but that covers all of the areas that can be sponsored, whether it's each of the individual All-America programs, or if you want to help us get a mentor program off the ground, or if you want to help us sponsor outreach clinics, all of that is available. We will put your name on anything for the right price. And then there is also, on the other side of that, there is advertising price list, which allows you to do like 3 months, 6 months, 12 months of advertising, either in the e-blast or in the journal or on the website. And there can be any combination of those. We are currently working with Jolynn. They've got, I think, a 4-month run of ads coming out through NISCA to our membership. So, yes.
The reason I asked is I was thinking that every time we're talking to someone who sells us stuff, say, hey, are you a NISCA sponsor?
Yeah.
Do you advertise in NISCA?
Yeah.
Hey, here's some information.
Yeah, we can definitely get that up on the website. So I'll somebody make a note, since I'm not currently taking notes.
Hey, Greg, if you have a person, call Mark or Marvel, give him their information and he will contact them and follow up on it. And we've had success doing it.
Yeah, Don's brought in a couple of sponsors this year.
They want to hold on to me as a customer, they had, giving them grief because I don't want to.
Perfect sponsor.
Yeah. All right. And then since I'm up here, I'm going to give the webmaster report. This year, I managed to keep the website up to date. I posted on social media 3 times a week. We had no significant crashes or interruptions this year. We did have a problem with Diving All-America, but that was an issue with testing and between Dick and Don, and they got it sorted out, so it was fine. Although I will mention that we had 20 coaches who entered Diving All-America applications without having to put in their dive sheet, and it took the 20th coach reaching out to us for us to hear about that. So 19 other coaches thought, oh, All-America diving applications, but I don't need a dive sheet. That's great. All right, so the website had 44,000 visitors, which is down about 8,000 from last year, but we also switched over the analytics last year, so that may be part of it. Our most popular pages, once again, was AA Swim Time Standards, AA Dive, Academic, and Water Polo. Most visitors are finding us by searching for NISCA, and then the rest of them are clicking on sites from one of my newsletters or an email that goes out. There are big spikes, unsurprisingly, at the end of December, March, and in July when the All-America list comes out. 51.7% of our visitors are male, 48% are female, and the majority of users are in the 45 to 54 age range. On social media, we have the NISCA Facebook page, which has 939 followers. That is an increase over last year. The NISCA High School Coaches Exchange Group has 2,500 members now. That is also an increase from last year of about probably 200, I think. Twitter has 923 followers, also an increase, and Instagram has 677 followers, also an increase. As the webmaster, I am always looking for more content to put on the website and social media, and then make sure that you are part of the Facebook group and try to be active in it, because we do get some new coaches with really great questions, and I love it when we can just like inundate them with information. And it's a great place to, brag about the great things that are happening in your program and share stories, because it's like what we do here when we're sitting around having a beer. So I'd like to keep that community vibrant and growing, and something that people come back to frequently to check for answers. And that is all of the reports that I have.
Thank you.
All right, next up, the journal.
You may have noticed the cover says the journal now instead of the NISCA journal. We want to be the journal. Please send pictures. If you have any articles, send some articles. We have room to put all kinds of information if they're submitted. It would make the job a little bit easier. We're going to sponsor a photo contest with prizes. Eve will have that in next week's newsletter. And if you have any questions about the journal, I'll take them now. Would like to add also that for the NISCA store, the ordered Eddie Reese books, there's 25 that Greg has already taken delivery of from Chuck Warner, and Chuck has signed every one of them. So if you want an author autographed Eddie Reese book, you can order them from the store. If you have one with you, I'll be happy to sign it while you're here. Please don't bother Eddie, because he didn't write the book and he's got more important things to do right now. Any questions? Thank you.
All right, international membership. I don't think we have a report. All right, marketing. Records and archives.
Records and archives. In the 2022-2023 school year, we had 12 national records set. 7 were public school and 5 were independent. 7 were female, 5 were male. So far in 2023-24, we've had 5, but we all know there's a handful out there that haven't been submitted yet. Still, one of the hardest parts is tracking those people down to make sure they submit their forms. I'm working with Chris Boone from NHFS to unify the records as much as possible. Again, one of the struggles we have is if they don't submit an application, they don't become a NISCA record, but some of them get submitted to NHFS and they become a NHFS record. So we're trying to clarify those of which ones we have records for and which ones we don't. Still receiving about 2 to 3 requests per month on looking for old data from your school. So if you took over a school and want to know all your All-Americans. So one of the things I'm doing is they come in chunks of 10-year increments, except for the first chunk, which was from the beginning of time to like 1965-ish. So I'm compiling all those into one Excel spreadsheet so that it's a lot easier for myself or the next person to to get that information. In terms of records, one of the things I'm doing right now is we're getting close to running out of the certificates. So what I did is made it an editable PDF. So the certificate is in PDF format. Should make it a lot easier. Won't have to print them out. Can just edit the PDF, send it to the coach, lock it. Then they can print it in whatever media or format they want to. So that should make the process of getting the records out on a timely basis a little bit quicker. Oh, we also did have one new pool added to the certification list as well.
Question over here. Oh, sorry. Comment. I'm Bob Clapper. Swimming world on the swimmer of the year competition. National. And we are not, Bob and from I have discussed this multiple times about we want to list records, whether they were submitted or not to NISCA, the Federation, we're including them in political nationals. Okay? And mentioning that they are. So like last year, I think Leah Shackley, Bedford, Pennsylvania, never submitted. Got the public school, she's passed the public school record. Now, when I go through those, I do a lot of searching, especially on the independent schools, to make sure it was an independent school plan. To update those. So those are not literally linked to official NISCA records, but I'm including them on the mythical nationals. It's a new record. Okay. Yeah. So I've been doing that routinely, just so you don't get into these whole, we had several backstroke marks submitted last year. So we're trying to get it so their data is up to date as possible when they list it, even if they didn't submit.
Sure, and so if there's a record, because it happens on a regular basis where Mark or Tim will send me a message and say, has this coach submitted it? And I'll say no, but then I will do my homework and my due diligence to track that coach down and then send them the application, wait 2 weeks, send them the application, wait another 2 weeks, send them the application. They might respond one time, and at some point I've given you 4 chances to submit your application and you don't do it. So I don't know what else we're supposed to do. If they don't want to submit their application, I can't beg them to do it. I mean, I am begging them to do it. I can't force them to do it. It's no different than All-American forms. It's no different than academic. All-American, if you don't care about your kid enough to submit that form, that's on you. There's not much I can do. I can track you down, but after that, it is what it is.
All right. Kyle, I did speak to the Keller coach for Maximus
Yes.
and Company. Yes, they are going to be filling out this one. They assumed that those were going to from UIL, and I explained to them UIL sends it to NFHS. coach sends to us. And so she's working on it.
Okay, cool.
All right. And Mr. Onstadt, the All-America Chairs Report.
We had our All-American Chairs meeting on Tuesday night. Marnie Shirley, academic, was there. Mark Jedow for girls swim and para. Tim Sirois, boys swim. Don Mason for diving. And Sean Weimer, water polo, was not here because he's in the middle of his season. And basically what we do at this meeting is a lot of housekeeping. We try to make things more readable. We're almost to the point where we're reading it for the coaches, but we're not quite there yet. If we get there, then we might actually have things done a lot better. So anyway, like at the swimming rules are on the website, at least 2 places, maybe 3. And one of the things that we do on an ongoing basis, and by we I mean Eve, is we make those the same. And there's a lot of detail in all those. So if you just leave one thing out, like you change the fee in one but not the other. Anyway, so we try to do that. We've had all of our programs online now for a couple years. I think water polo was the last one, and things have been going well. There are still tweaks that are happening with the web magic back behind the curtain. But we just work on those as it comes up. One of the new things is uploading documents, and diving's been doing this. Diving is the guinea pig. Diving was the first program online, and they are the first one to do document upload, but also academic is doing it. So whenever those things start, there's always things you got to work through. And Marnie and Don are doing a great job getting that done. Does anybody have any questions? There will be an All-American general meeting. I think it's tomorrow, isn't it? Yeah, it's on your schedule. And at that meeting, the All-American chairs have not recommended any changes, no fee changes, no rule changes or anything. So, but at that meeting, that's somewhere that that's the place that you as a coach can come there and say, why don't we do this, or how do we do that? And we can talk about it.
Today at 2 o'clock.
I'm sorry, what?
Meeting's today at 2 o'clock.
Well, that's good. I would have showed up tomorrow. Okay. Anything else? I think that's yours.
All right. Okay, I believe that is, did I miss any of the reports? I believe that was all of them that needed to be submitted.
I have some reports for you. Membership.
Oh, you got the report from membership. Great. Thank you.
From Brad Jones, membership. He said, as of this morning, membership is at 1,260. Membership renewals have been steady the last month as people are getting their All-American submissions in. Joint membership with ASCA are being submitted about once a month. Things are going well with Steve Hall, the new membership chair. That was membership. When it comes to PowerPoint for Mike McHugh, entries are rolling in nicely, but still lagging behind last year's totals at this time. The new entry form has caused some confusion to people as they're trying to enter on the actual form, which they don't have access to, instead of making a copy of it themselves. It's an easy fix though, and things seem to be going smoothly. Thank you.
Question?
Membership, sorry for all the questions. Have we looked into the possibility of adding an option to auto enroll in NISCA? instead of remembering to sign up again, just say, look, here's my credit card, next year just charge me.
Okay, I'm gonna answer this question at the microphone so that the people online can hear me too. So the question was, is there a way that we could set it up so that we could just auto renew memberships from year to year? In theory, there is. However, we or somebody is going to need to keep all of those card numbers, and I don't want to do that. So at this point, the answer is no. If somebody who thinks they know how to do stuff like that would like to take over the webmaster position and take that on, baby, go for it. But yeah, at this point, we're not doing auto renewals because I don't want to have to track or keep the credit card information, because it requires a significantly higher amount of security than what we currently have. Yes, we would definitely have to use a third party to do that. And while the organization is currently in great financial shape, part of that is because we are not spending a lot of money on third parties running our websites. We did get quotes a couple 8 to 10 years back, maybe, to have somebody come in and do that. And it was like a $25,000 setup and I don't know, $5,000 to $10,000 a year for maintenance, something like that. So yes, the answer is no, we are not going to currently do that. I will do everything I possibly can to remind people that you need to renew. And that actually, we get a pretty good spike in renewals in the fall. And what I have been finding is people actually will renew in the fall, forget that they renewed, don't check to see if they renewed, and then renew again in the spring when their All-America apps are due. But the good news for them is we just renew them to the next year, and we just keep rolling them out. So if you renewed twice in a year, you'd get, this year was 24, you'll also get next year for 25. If you renew again in 25 when you're already a member, you're now out to 26, and that we just kind of keep doing that. So there you go. Another question from Greg.
So I just got a notice saying, hey, you need to renew. And I went, well, no, I signed up back in July, and I'm pretty sure that was a class,
Yes.
a generic class, not
Yes.
specifically. Do I get an email like that when it expires? I know that it's online.
So
it's online, and that's what reminds me. I don't remember if I got an email.
you will get emails starting on August 1st. You will get one email a week from me. And then when we get into like November, you will get a personalized email, because I can pull the list of people who were members last year and have not renewed yet for this year. So, if you get what looks like a generic, hey, don't forget you need to renew, usually as part of another much longer e-blast that people clearly aren't reading, then that's probably a generic one. If you get a, hey, our records indicate that you have not renewed, that one is specific to you and you should check on it, because if my records indicate that you have not renewed and you think you have renewed, then we should have a conversation about that. Yeah. Any other questions about membership? We are having some problems. I think both Brad and I have seen it with people not understanding, number one, the difference between a new membership and renewing your membership. If you already have a membership number, you go to the link that says renew. It's got the little recycle looking circle thing. If you have never had a NISCA membership, then you go to the link that says new, and it's real big in red, and it says new. And then when you are renewing, so we did something new this year with membership where you will not have access to the NISCA website members only content if you have not renewed your membership. So on July 31st, everybody's access gets shut off to the website. And then when you renew, you put in your NISCA number and the email address that you used to sign up, which is the one that you get all your emails from me at. And then you can renew, and then you have access to the NISCA website. And if you can't remember your password, you can go in and reset it at that point, but you can't reset your password until you have renewed using your NISCA number and your email address. And I think that was the biggest problem that we had this year. Bob.
I'm asking this particular for me, one, the honorary, are we automatically
You are, yes, honorary life members and association members are automatically renewed. I don't always remember to do it on August 1st. So if you get in there and you haven't been, somebody send me an email, please. But yes, that we have a batch job that runs that automatically renews everybody.
Then I can go, yeah, next year I'll be out hiring, so I will be changing my email.
Yes. Yes. And you can, once you're renewed, you can go in and you can edit your membership information. There's another link for that. It's got a little pencil on it. And you can go in and update your email address, your school name, your addresses, whatever. So yeah, easy enough to do. And it's very important that you keep that information up to date, because if your school changes email addresses and you don't get that in there, we can't get in touch with you. And if you don't have a mailing address, whether it's your school or your home up to date, you will not be getting the very fantastic journal that goes out every 2 months. So you're missing out if you're not getting those. Okay, any other questions? Okay, sorry. I'm gonna hijack that.
All right, so the last thing on our agenda for meeting one this morning is the nominations for secretary. At this time, we will entertain nominations for secretary. Chair, Mr. Abbott.
I'd like to nominate Julie.
Which one's she?
She was here earlier.
We have a nomination for Eve Jillian. Do we have any other nominations? Okay, let's entertain a motion to close nominations for secretary. Don Mason. Second, Darren Millar. Favor for closing nominations? Say aye. Aye. Okay. All right, so nominations for secretary are closed. We have one candidate for secretary, which we will be voting on later. Thank you. All right. All right. So at this time, I will take that is all of the business we have for this morning. So at this time, I will take a, do we need to take a request for a move to adjourn? We do. We have, before we adjourn, we have Tom here wishing to do some door prizes. Okay.
Wait.
Well, hold on, Tom. We have a first move to adjourn. We have a second? Tamara? Has a second? All in favor? All right. We are now adjourned for the first meeting. Tom, you may have the floor for announcing numbers.
Number 7.
Number 7 here this morning.